Rake it in. Well, here's a question for you, Daniel, from Bernie in Germany. He says, do you still receive 2 cents transactions on your PokerStars account? Apparently there's a karma thing that players believe that if they make a deposit of 2 cents into your account that they'll run good.
I swear I hesitate to even answer this because I know if I say something I'm just going to get a whole bunch more either way. But yeah, I get 2 cents on a regular basis, and it's, well, the thing is, I don't know how to block those emails on my BlackBerry, so often I'll get like 80 messages and they're all PokerStars transfers and they're all 2 cents. So yeah, I do get them, and I don't really care for them, but yeah. They cost me money, because it probably costs me more money for the email push than it does to get the 2 cents. So people are breaking me by doing that.
Well, look, I'll welcome it. I can't promise you any karma, but I need the deposits. Daniel Negreanu doesn't.
Oh. I mean, if you're going to send like 100. 2 cents, that doesn't even cover my email push.
Drain raise, chase the pass.
So the raises come from Drenu Keller here.
Same one pass, small blind pass.
Just the big blind left, Finton Gavin.
How much was the raise?
72,000.
Okay, that's a relatively small raise.
72.
Call.
Blinds 15 and 30. That's actually a good size raise. I like it. It invites a call. And contrary to popular belief, sometimes when you're stealing the blinds, you don't mind getting a call if you're in position, because you usually can pick it up on a flop and win yourself a few extra bucks.
You see, I know this because I've been reading your book.
Yeah, have you?
I have. I meant to bring it with me. I need to get to sign it.
Yeah, that's one of the things we talk about is getting heads up with the big blind in position for a small amount. You kind of do want them to call a lot of the time. You want to make a big mistake with a marginal hand after the flop. A little less so at the final table, though.
10 of diamonds, 9 of hearts.
Deuce 10-9, 2 hearts. Finton Gavin checks.
Pretty standard a check, and it's a quick check behind.
Finton check. Edwin check. Turn card 6 of diamonds.
You would expect the blind to bet here no matter what his hand is. It's an important thing to understand about tournament generally is that if this player checked behind on that flop, you're in the big blind. You can have any sort of hand 95. For such a small amount. You really have to take a stab here. 95. You can have anything. You have to figure out where you're at.
95,000. About half the pot, and a very quick call from Drenu Keller.
So this looks like Keller's playing pot control poker, where he checked the flop, looking to keep it small. Maybe he has a hand like King 9. Or oh, what's this head shaking stuff?
That's a tell, isn't it?
I'd say, oh my goodness. Just like, oh my goodness.
Why did he call that? I was hoping to steal.
Well, he's making it so obvious that he might, I don't know. That's a weird one.
It was a king of diamonds. Finton checks, Drain checks.
I check it down.
9.
Finton Gavin
9 queen.
Says he has queen 9.
This is enough to win the pot.
It's enough.
Pot takes. Finton.
Drenu Keller, much the hand.
It's a really strange head shake with 9 queen. You get called and do the old, oh my goodness. Life is over. What was that? Curious to know what the raiser had. It's possible he had a hand like maybe ace-8, picked up a straight draw. Could have had 2 7s or 2 8s and also had a similar straight draw.
Don't forget that as well as the EPT kicking off for its 5th season, the World Championship of Online Poker is currently running. Runs until the 22nd of September. Lots of events going on. 33 in total. $30 million guaranteed in prize money, but we're pretty sure we're going to break that. The main event kicks off on Sunday the 21st of September. $5,200 to enter. It's a no-limit hold'em event. There are satellites running now on PokerStars. You can actually win your seat for as little as $2.20.
Speaking of the W Coupe, actually in about 3 hours from now, a really exciting event, the first of its kind, really, a $25,000 buy-in heads up, which is closed at this point, I believe. And I'll be playing in 3 hours, so if you want to, you can watch the EPT live, and then you can also, watch online, and you'll see some of the PokerStars Team Pros playing, and then various others of the best for $25K a piece.
Funny you mentioned that event, Daniel, because Eric has emailed to say, I'm a big fan of yours. Who's your pick for that heads-up Coupe tourney tonight? Well, obviously you're going to say yourself,
well, I played in the W Coupe heads-up event the other night. There was 2,048 players, and I won my first 4 matches and got down to 128, and then ran really unlucky and lost. So I went 4-1, feel really good about my heads-up game. So I would have to say that the clear favorite, I mean, oh my goodness, has to be moi. No question about it. Yeah.
75,000.
And I'm awake too. I feel good.
Small blind pass.
It's it's actually a little bit more difficult to play that event from Europe because it's going to go through the night while the others start in the daytime and they'll play all day.
I'm sure it won't be the first time you've played poker through the night.
No, this is bad. But the other W Coupe I played, I was deep and I was literally so tired I fell asleep in between hands and only didn't time out. It went beep, beep. We got all in action.
A raise, a re-raise, an all-in, and a fold. Mattia made it 75,000. Ruthenberg raised it up to 170,000. Then came the all-in and a very quick fold from Ruthenberg.
A little bit of a rush here for Mattia now. Doubled up with the ace-2s against 10s, and now he's won another big pot.
Mattia starting the day as the short stack, now sitting on around 786,000 in chips. The dubious honour of being the short stack, well, kind of shared at the moment. Jason Mercier and Sam Chartier both needing to get busy soon.
It just goes to show you at a final table, so quickly, one big flip, one coin flip win or one lucky hand, you go from being on a situation where you're thinking, you're trying to come 8th or 9th, and all of a sudden, wait a minute, new situation, I can win this thing now. And I'm sure that's how Matsu's feeling right now, pumped up.
That's the money the winner's going to take in the suitcase, or attache case really. 1.36 million plus that lovely trophy that's been designed for this event. Lots of questions coming in for Daniel Negreanu. nuts@eptlive.com is the email address. Jonathan in France says, I really appreciate your play and the way you behave at the table. I'd like to know who is the best player in poker you've had the chance to play with. Is it one of the pros like Barry Greenstein or Phil Ivey? Or is it an unknown player?
No, it would have to be someone like I mean, I would have to say that overall, when you consider poker being more than just Hold'em, definitely Phil Ivey is a player that I've been playing with since he was 22, and we've been friends. So he's always fun to play with, brings out the best in me, and just he all around, he brings his A game more often than everyone else, and I think that's what makes him so good.
Now we've seen a button call in this hand, folded round to Fintan Gavin in the dealer position, and he calls the big blind of 30,000.
A little bit of a strange play to call there from the button.
I mean, there's another question for you, Daniel, from Chris in Florida. It's a tough one for you to answer, really, although you may have got a bit of a steering on it now. Who do you think is the most solid player at the table? Probably still too early for you to answer that one accurately.
Yeah, really, to make a judgment like that, if you do it in a snap decision where you've only been watching for 5 minutes, you're really not, you're never going to get an accurate answer. So, yeah, it's too early to tell for me.
Well, we know that Sebastian Ruthenberg is a strong player, and he's raised it up from the small blind. Martin Nielsen passes the big blind. Back on Fintan Gavin on the button.
90, is it?
Well, if he did limp in for 30,000, it would seem as though he should feel comfortable calling another 90,000 more in position. If he had a hand good enough to put 30 in, the value of having position, to me seems like it's automatic call. However, his opponent should know that, and so maybe he's thinking, well, why does he only make it 90 more? Does he want me to call? And if he does, maybe he's got that hand. It's a play that I won't make normally from the small blind unless, I've got something really strong.
Yeah.
Or you have sort of a tell that this player is just not going to call on the button.
You have a lot of chips here, Sebastian.
See, the only benefit really of limping in that spot versus raising on the button is that if someone does raise, you can call. Whereas if he raised to 90,000 himself, a re-raise would have been to 300 or 400, so he couldn't have called. But now it's only 90 more, so if he really wants to see that flop,
genuine hand.
He'll be able to. I think he's looking for a count to try to figure out here, if I call with this hand, with the speculative hand that I have, can I get paid off well enough to make it worth it? So maybe he has a hand like, whatever, Jack 9 suited or Jack 8 of clubs, something like that, where he feels like if I hit my hand big, can I get paid?
I can tell you they're pretty even in chips. They started the hand. Fintan Gavin started the hand with 1.09 million. Sebastian Ruthenberg with 1.06.
What, with $1 million in chips apiece, it seems like that's less than 10% of your stack.
No, I've seen 3 subcoats.
In position, I would call here with a very wide range of hands.
Too lucky.
Anything from 5-6 suited to a pocket pair.
Fintan pass.
Fintan commenting that he's seen too many suckouts, and he says Sebastian's too lucky for him.
He said pocket 9s, I think, and I don't buy that for a minute.
Queen of hearts, 4 spades.
So he showed queen 4, or he showed a 4?
He showed a
Queen 4.
Well, that's crazy. I don't know. He obviously read weakness from the button and picked up the pot, but it just seemed like you're going to